Oh, all right. We are live. It looks. All right, we are live. Hi, everybody. Um, I will wait a couple minutes just so that everybody can get in. Um, but I'm so sorry. This light is. That's a little better. All right. But yes, we are our change fundraiser. I of course, Bad Romance Novels is the name of the game. And I have acquired several new ones in order to read. Yes. Yeah, like I said, we'll probably wait a couple minutes just so that everybody can kind of filter in, and then I will introduce tonight's lineup of novels. Last time we read Sun God Seeks Surrogate, which ended up being like Deepest Lore, the book. I am very tempted to go back and purchase the other books, and maybe we'll do like one where we just read the Sun God Accident series or whatever it's called. It's a whole series, like we said, but I don't know what it's actually called. Oh, there's the Accidentally Yours. Okay. I had the books from last time as well. And what I'll do is I will read the book title, the summary on the back of the book, and then let y'all decide what you would like to hear me read for tonight. But yes, hello everybody. I'm really excited. Last time we raised $145 for the Bail Project. This time hi Kelly. Where's sorry. We raised $145 for the Bail Project. Hey Jerry, it's good to see y'all. Good to see you. This time we're raising money for Color of Change, which is another racial justice organization. Our goal is 145 or 150. And the link is in the description below to the Tiltify campaign. I also posted it on my Tumblr and my Twitter. Both of those being Doom Guy Bye if you want to go retweet them or anything. But yes, I am extremely, extremely excited. I think I have some real winners to pick from tonight because I actually went and not only do I have dollar store novels, but ones I purchased at Walmart. And they look extremely interesting. I even bought one of those like Viking books. I went to self-checkout because if I had to look somebody in the eyes while purchasing these, I think I might have died. But yes. Yeah, we'll probably wait till 7:05 to get the ball rolling. I have 5 viewers. Hello, everybody. If you didn't catch all that, the Tiltify link is in the description below for Color of Change. Our goal is, 6 people. Hi. Our goal is $150, and I'll try to remember to check in during the stream. It's Caleb and it's Jacob. Hello. Oh, it's so good to see y'all. I'm so glad you can make it. I hope that you enjoy. But yeah, our goal is 150 for Color of Change tonight. And yes, so again, I hope that y'all enjoy the stream because I enjoy reading these. Even if the secondhand embarrassment I get from them is so strong that it kind of makes me want to shrivel up. Like, yeah, also. But yes, so yeah. Also, yes, I am eating candy corn. I actually am one of those weird people. I like candy corn, so judge me if it pleases you too. We got all of our fucking Halloween stuff at work in like July, and it's been set out since the end of July. I'm like, fuck it, I'll buy candy corn. Yeah, Jerry, you have taste. It is so good. I just have like a bowl of it beside my computer right now. All right, well, It's almost 7:05, so I will begin reading the back of the novels for y'all so that we can decide what we want to read today. All right, so our first book up is The Eternal Highlander. It's written by these two white ladies, because I don't think anybody else could have written something like this. So the description on the back of the book. Cathal MacNacton and Connell MacAdie are cousins bound by far more than blood ties and the rugged Highland landscape their clan calls home. The ancient curse of their ancestry has fated them to live by night with an unquenchable... Yeah, I think it's only PayPal with Tiltify. Sorry, I just kind of noticed that. The ancient curse of their ancestry has fated them to live by night with an unquenchable thirst that neither can tame. The only thing that can save their souls is marriage to outsiders, mortals whose untainted blood will weaken the curse in their children and break the chains of fear that have made their clan a breed apart. Bridget Callan and Ava Caxton are the women who will shape the clan's destiny. Marriage to these strange and mysterious men will rescue each of them from desperate circumstances and draw them into a web of danger, desire, and intrigue. Ooh. So that is The Eternal Highlander with this like half-naked man on the cover wearing a kilt wrapped around his boobs. So that's that. Next we have Last Stand Sheriff. So haunted by an unsolved case involving his family, Sheriff Declan Nash has hoped his recent vacation would help clear his head. And it worked. But just as his family's abductor steps out of the shadows, Remy Hudson, a woman from his past, reveals he's going to be a dad. Now, as Remy suddenly becomes a target of repeated attacks, Declan will do anything to keep her and their unborn baby safe, even though someone is trying very hard to make sure that doesn't happen. Oh, hello, Rudy. It's nice to see you. Glad you could make it. Yes, so that is Last Stand Sheriff. And next we have The Paternity Pact. Yeah, the 2 out of the 3 books I didn't even realize had like pregnancy themes. Honestly, I went to the Walmart, like the book section, and I kind of based it on titles, so I would just grab one and then flip over to a random page. And if that seemed like something I wanted to read to y'all, I picked it. I didn't really even realize, except for obviously like the paternity pact, but yeah, so his unforgettable one-night stand is back in town, and she's not alone. 5 years ago, Grant Everett and Harley Wingate waltzed out of the Texas Cattlemen's Club ball and into Grant's bed. Now an international philanthropist, the beautiful young woman has returned to Royal, with their secret son in tow. Grant wants answers, and Harley and his bed. But with scandal swirling around her family, can he stop Harley from running all over again? So this is part of a series of books about the Texas Cattlemen's Club. So this... Let's get spicy. Yeah. So this dashing young gentleman is apparently part of the Texas Cattlemen's Club in this universe. And then, of course, we have the dollar store novels that I showed y'all last time. Close Encounters of the Sexy Kind, which I will reintroduce to those who already know about it and introduce to those who don't know what it is. So the byline, which is an extremely hard to read font, is "Beam me up, hottie." Sex with the perfect man is overrated, especially if your Mr. Perfect is a robot, and you know there's something better out there. Can Mala help it if out there is way out there? Her grandmother, an intergalactic traveler, left a diary behind describing the exceptional love-making talents of Earth men. So Mala decides to head for Earth and see what all the fuss is about. Maybe a potty has me on the name alone. When the local conspiracy theorists insist he's seen a UFO land out near Devil's Bend, Sheriff Mason McKinley rides out to investigate. But instead of little green men, he finds the sexiest woman he's ever laid eyes on. Though Mala's odd behavior and obsession with the naked channel, straightforward offers of sex, might have something to do with amnesia, what red-blooded American male wouldn't feel lucky? Still, Mason doesn't want to take advantage of a lost soul, however much she wants to be taken advantage of. So that is Close Encounters of the Sexy Kind. Next we have Tempt Me with Diamonds, which is part of the subgenre of like English lady literature, like robot fuckers and alien fuckers. Yes, we've got the 1-2 combo. And I guess for Mala, she'd also be like a human fucker. If I'm assuming she's like humanoid or a human, but just from another planet. It'd be a very interesting novel if it was like, what like she's like look like a xenomorph. That'd be funny. I'm gonna write that book. So, Tempt Me with Diamonds. So Diana Somerville seems to have it all: beauty, brains, and vast wealth, thanks to her family's ownership of a diamond mine abroad. But when her beloved brother dies in battle and leaves a lion's share of his estate to his best friend, Diana finds herself in a situation that seems scripted for the stage, sharing her family home with the man she used to love and now loathes. Worse, her unfaithful former fiancé has already moved in. Rupert Lacey didn't expect Diana to take the news without a fight. Still, he didn't expect her to bring the battle directly to their newly shared doorstep, complete with a full set of trunks and a full set of orders to the staff. Yet there she is, bold, regal, magnificent as ever. Now they would face a formidable challenge: to ignore each other and the unanswered questions that stood between them. The only sure thing is their still blazing desire. But with a woman like Diana, it will take nothing less than a momentous misunderstanding, a missing prized mare, and a shocking revelation to restore a love that hasn't lost its shine. So that is Tempt Me with Diamonds. And last, but certainly not least, Never Dare a Wicked Earl. Another one of the English lady lits. So known as a brazen philanderer, Hayden Milton, Earl of Westfield, is almost done in by a vengeful mistress who aims a gun at a rather essential part of his anatomy, but ends up wounding his thigh instead. Recuperating in his London townhouse, Hayden is confronted by his new medical attendant. Sophia Camden intrigues him, for behind her starched uniform is an enticing beauty better suited for bedding than dispensing salves and changing bandages. The gun is good, the penis is evil. I mean, I think maybe in his case, true. Unshaken by his arrogance, not to mention impropriety, Sophia offers Hayden a dare. Allow her 10 days to prove her competency. If she resigns in exasperation like her two predecessors, she will be beholden to his wicked desires. I lost my fucking place. Oh. She'll be beholden to this wicked seducer, sorry. As a battle of wills begins, Sophia finds herself distracted by the Earl's muscular physique, and discovers that the man within longs only for a second chance at love. So that is our lineup of novels tonight. I will go through them again and then let y'all decide. We have Never Dare a Wicked Earl, Tempt Me with Diamonds, Close Encounters of the Sexy Kind, The Paternity Pact, Last Stand Sheriff, and The Eternal Highlander. So, if there's any you want me to reread the summary for, let me know. Otherwise, you can comment your choice or sex robots. All right, Jacob knows what he's about. So we've got 2 votes for Close Encounters. We got 1 for Wicked Earl. So, let's see if anybody else wishes to make a decision. So for those, these are the 2 we have so far. Yes, sex robots and aliens are quite the combo. They sold this. This was at my store. That's how I saw it. It was at my fucking Dollar General. We sell this shit. Yeah, so these are the two toys that have been mentioned so far. Let's see if anybody else comments. You don't have to be shy if you just want to like comment what your choice is and then not say anything for the stream. That's totally chill. Trust me. I tend to kind of just lurk in streams too, so. All right, so I'll give it about a minute. And based on these votes so far, it looks like we're going with Close Encounters. There we go. Come here, you. All right, well, it looks like Close Encounters is what we are doing so far. So, Close Encounters, it looks like it is. Historical fiction, clearly no match for sex aliens. Do androids have wet dreams of electric sheep? Oh, wow. Yeah, we have some real bangers in the chat tonight. Which I am very excited for this because I actually have not read this yet. I have been waiting to read it. Oh yeah, there's like another sequel to this that is called Earth Guys Are Easy that I have not bought yet, but I'm sure I will at some point. Let me check the Tiltify real quick. Let's see. Whoop, come here, you. Oh my gosh, are we already at 95? That's crazy. Oh my gosh. So Millie hasn't played Blood Episode 2. Caleb, I beat it. I told you I beat it, so don't even at me. Thank you for $25 though. Jerry, thank you for 20. And Jacob, thank you for 50. That is incredible. We're already over halfway to our goal. So thank you guys so much. Yeah, Caleb, don't at me. I told you I beat Blood Episode 2. I told you I did. I kicked Shial's ass. Fucking bitch. But yes. All right. Close Encounters of the Sexy Kind. Chapter 1. I'm going crazy, Mala murmured. Jumping to her feet. She definitely beat it. I was there for the victory rant. Yeah, as soon as I beat it, I DM'd Kelly. I was like, Kels, you will never believe it! And yeah, I was very upset. Upset about how long it took me to beat it. Not upset that I beat it, but yes. All right, so jumping to her feet, she strode to the plate glass window overlooking the pristine city surrounding her house. The planet Narok, where the light never faded and everything was white. So horribly white, colorless, stark and cold. A lot like this novel. Just like everything on her planet. Would you like a hormone smoothie, Barton asked over the monitoring system. She stuck her tongue out. No, I wouldn't like a smoothie. A small aero unit whizzed past, rattling her window. Everything moved too fast. Instant gratification. Sad, drink a happy smoothie. Tired, drink an energy smoothie. Horny, drink a hormone smoothie. Everything was a quick fix. Well, starting with lore, I like it. Is this going to be another Sun God book where it's just like 99% lore? And because I could be down for that. You get this way every year. I'm only suggesting a smoothie because it usually calms you. Smoothie of trans your gender. Are you tired of slurp? It's like a slurp the hell out of that smoothie. She cocked an eyebrow. Haha, she said cock. Maybe because it has a sedative in it. We could copulate. A door that blended with the wall whisked slightly open. She turned as Barton stepped inside the room. He was like no other. 6 feet 3 inches of rugged, sexy male. Blonde hair, blue eyes. She should be happy. She should. Shouldn't she? Shouldn't she? I could not read. Then why was she so frustrated? It's been 3 years, 21 days, 14 hours, 22 minutes, and 9 seconds since you've had an orgasm. Oh shit, poor girl. Decidedly male alien. this alien is decidedly male. And he was driving her crazy. She didn't want perfection, but Barton was exactly the way she'd ordered him. Did you name him Barton too? Because I'm sorry, that's a garbage name. That's not a sexy name. Can you imagine yelling out Barton? Or Bart? No. I would think of the Simpsons character and just like wanna die. A gift from her, a cousin, on Mala's 21st birthday. Together they had chosen everything about him. He was their creation. At the time, her older cousin, Kia, had been going through a rebellious period and had smuggled a catalog of male specimens into Mala's apartment. Barton was born from a sketch they compiled. If she named her sex bot Bart, no wonder she's getting no action. And then Jacob, and then that's the Bart. And then it's like Terminator or Skynet, and then exclusively took over Raiders. Yeah, this is already some deep Bart lore. But they had taken their creation a step further. They'd practically breathed life into him, at least as much life as could be breathed into a companion unit. Barton had all the emotions of any Narakian. He was the perfect male. He was still perfect 5 years later. Everything about her life was perfect. She hated it. You're grinding your teeth again. I take it sex is not an option. No, sex is not an option. She turned back to the window. Ah. Ah, what? She asked without turning around. You've been looking at that book again. She stiffened, then quickly relaxed her shoulders. What book? That was the most uninnocent sounding question she'd ever asked. You're being evasive, aren't you? You know perfectly well what book I mean. The one from your grandmother's travels. The one about that other place. Earth. Why had she even thought she could fool him? He'd been around her too long. There was nothing she could hide. So why did she even try? She might as well confess. But first things first. Her eyes narrowed as she faced him. You swear on the promise stones that you won't say a word, even if they threaten to remove your microchip? His chin jutted forward. Have I ever betrayed you? Oh, God, wow. That's like a weird... He was like, have I ever betrayed you? All right, Bart. Sorry. Damn. She had to remember that Barton was special. Although very analytical, he still had feelings. She'd made sure of that even though her cousin had warned against adding the sensitivity chip, among others. But she didn't want just a companion unit. She had to have more than a machine. Well, she'd certainly got more than she bargained for with Barton. She went to the bookcase and pulled 3 reference books from the shelf and reached to the back of the case, pushing a hidden button. Ooh, some Batman shit. Her fingers tingled when they brushed over the book. The grandmother's diary, and even more precious, the film. What kind of film, Mala? She glanced behind her before bringing them out. Hide the window. This lady looked at C-3PO and was like, give me that and make him fart. Oh God, I wish I could do a C-3PO voice because I would totally read his lines in that now. That's so fucking funny. I'll try on the next line, but be warned, my C-3PO impression will probably fucking suck. Barton waved a hand and the window disappeared. Soft lights automatically came on, and only then did she bring the materials out. Do you realize how much trouble... Yeah, that C-3PO voice is not going to work, you guys. I'm so sorry. Do you realize how much trouble you can get into just by having these documents? Of course I do, she told him as she carried everything to the lounging sofa. They borrowed distant travel after my grandmother's last voyage, the year I was born. So she's like 26 now, so her grandma was getting it. Good for her. They said our society was being tarnished by the ideas that were brought back. You do realize the Coalition is looking out for your best interest. From the small amount of information on space travel that I have programmed into my system, Earth is by far the most untamable. Okay. But don't you see? That's what makes it so exciting. People can actually think for themselves. They don't have a coalition of elders telling them what's in their best interest. They're allowed to make their own mistakes. They can grow and learn from them. Oh, all right, so she's one of those people. She placed the film in the change port. A hologram filled the room with sound and color. She could almost reach out and touch the trees. Could almost feel the spray from the waterfall as it cascaded over the mountain and splashed down into the pond. Oh, it's a... Oh. Oh, okay. I thought this was the movie, but we'll get to that. So, she inhaled. I wonder what it smells like on Earth. Earthy. I hate this man. She frowned at Barton before letting the unfolding scenes capture her attention once more. The hologram wasn't much different than the one she inserted into the port when she wanted to go to a park or just get away from the noise inside the town bubble. This hologram really existed. That was the difference. Her grandmother had labeled the documentary an XXX rated Western movie, whatever that meant. Not that it mattered much. This was her proof that there was more in the universe than Narok. There was even a title on the box. Callie Does the Sheriff. That is not a creative title at all. She wished her grandmother had explained more instead of leaving so many unanswered questions. Well, she told you that she wrote on the thing. Callie Does the Sheriff. I think that's enough explanation. Wow. She returned her attention to the waterfall. The woman washed herself beneath the spray of water, her thin pink dress transparent as she slid a small white brick over her body. Is she just putting soap directly on her body instead of on a loofah? That's strange. From the expression on the woman's face, the sensation must have been enjoyable. In the future, the only TV channel left would be Pornhub, and it's all going to be Mala's fault. Or Malu, whatever the fuck her name is. Damn Narakian lady. Her grandmother's journal had described something similar and called it bathing. She said it was a barbaric custom Earth people did to cleanse their bodies. How odd they had to run a white brick over their body. Every morning, Mala went to the chamber, waved her hand, and beams of light rid her body of bacteria. Lots of people watch like that. What you talking about? Well, oh, shit. I have a loofah that I put soap on. Yeah, they don't bathe. Apparently, they just So she gets the bacteria off of her, but does she use deodorant? Does she know what that is? I want a scene in this book where Mason, they play Smash or Magic together. I want a scene in this book where Mason, goes up to her and is here's some deodorant, and she opens it and just starts eating it. That's a scene that I want in this book now. But the woman did seem excited. For a moment, she wished she had a white brick to rub over her body. It looked much more enjoyable than beams of light she never felt. Sighing, she watched what happened next, even though she'd secretly watched the film before. I mean, I thought that she had seen it before. But all right, Mala. The woman hadn't seen the man yet. When she turned from the waterfall, her pupils dilated. Also, I just realized that she's wearing it describes the lady wearing a dress, or I guess Callie, and from the Callie Does the Sheriff, wearing a dress while she bathes. That's a little weird. The man sat atop a four-legged beast, gazing upon her, secretly removed she still alone. Gazing upon her, but there was something in his eyes that made Mala's thighs tremble. You don't wear clothes in the bath, how lewd. It was as if no one else existed for him. He climbed off the animal. The shiny metal star he wore on his shirt sparkled in the sunlight. She held her breath, watching his face and the lazy look he gave her before he sat on a rock and pulled off his boots. Girl, your horse is right there, dude. Turn your horse around at least, please. That's a little weird. Sheriff, what are you doing? The woman's voice trembled. What I should have done a long time ago, Callie May. He removed his clothes before stepping into the water, every inch of his backside displayed for Mala's enjoyment. Oh, it's not even full frontal nudity? That's bullshit. Muscles rippled as he waded farther out, then dove beneath the murky green water. When Sheriff emerged, he was beside Callie May, taking her into his arms, lowering his mouth to hers. He moved his hand to her breast, massaging. Okay. Mala could barely swallow, let alone breathe, her gaze riveted on the couple. Muscles rippled, but not necessarily his. They're just like there's like a wall of muscle just rippling out there. It's like that. Okay, I know that Kels hasn't played Doom yet. Well, the 1993 Doom, but you know, it's like that face wall where it's just like people like screaming. That's the muscle that I'm now picturing rippling. It's just behind the waterfall watching this. Oh god. Sheriff tugged the front of Callie's dress and it opened. What kind of is it, like a button dress? But okay. I want to see you, darling. You've been teasing me for a long time. But we're out in the open. She glanced furtively around, her eyes wide, but Mala didn't think she looked that upset. What if someone sees? She said in a breathless voice. I don't care. He cupped her breast before lowering his head and covering it with his mouth. He suckled for a moment, then raised his head. I'm going to make love to you, baby. The hot, dirty kind. You ain't never had an orgasm like you're gonna have with me. Isn't he magnificent? Mala breathed. This was what I was designed from. He seems rather savage, if you ask me, Barton sniffled. This is a little weird, watching porn with your sex bot. Sometimes she wanted to remove Barton's sensitivity chip. She turned off the hologram. It's a primitive planet. I've read my grandmother's journal. The beast the man sat upon is a horse. She frowned. Or maybe a cow. I'm not quite sure. Her journals are a little difficult to translate. She was only there to gather the minimum amount of information. Her time on the planet was very brief. I feel like healthy bonding time, and I feel like there are other sexual activities one could do with their sex bot than watch porn. Well, it did say it'd been like 3 years since she had last had an orgasm, so poor homegirl just is not having a good time. Barton is not doing his job. And the couple in the hologram, they were about to copulate. You can say fuck, Bart. You can say he's allowed to. I hope he knows he's allowed to say fuck. I'm not sure. I think so. She bit her bottom lip. Yes, I'm almost certain of it. Some of the film was damaged, so I'm not positive how their encounter ended. I think they joined, but it was more intense than just copulating, more going on than relieving stress. Would you like me to do what Sheriff did? I can, you know. How did she tell him something would be lost in the process? She didn't want to join for the sake of release. Oh, so joining is her like euphemism for fucking. Okay. She wanted someone who would make love to her. Was that so much to ask? Why are you so fascinated with Earth? He changed the subject. It's not like you'll ever go there. Aliens can't just say human words. I like to think that fuck is a universal word. Fuck, bitch, shit, all that kind of stuff. Just universal. Everybody knows it. A half smile played around her lips. Mala? I have her journal. It contains all the information I would need to survive. She took a deep breath. I know where they store the space travel crafts. Do they not guard them? Those old scraps of metal, I doubt you'd be able to get one of them out of its port. His beautiful blue eyes grew round. Were they not already round? You don't actually plan. Yes. She flung her arms wide and twirled around the room. Barton, I don't belong here. I want to experience life. He has goat eyes. I want to experience life, not watch it on a hologram. I want to know what dirt feels like. I want to walk barefoot through a meadow. I want to stand beneath a waterfall. Girl, you will die. Fuck her eyes. Nice. I am incredibly skilled with the English language, as you can tell. But you can do that now. No, a hologram isn't the same. Wait, what is our planet made of? Um, well, they said that it's like a pristine city, so I'm guessing it's like all paved. That's like my assumption is that everything's paved and there's like no way to see the dirt. But you'd think that maybe they had plants. Hmm. The fuck is on this planet that supports life and she's got none of this? Smoothies, remember? The horny smoothies. That takes care of everything. Oh shit, I forgot that. But yeah, like that, the horny smoothies, perfect. Just will take care of your life. Okay, we had to rearrange my. Let's see. What are the smoothies made of? You know, that's an excellent question. According to one of them, it's hormones because that's the horny smoothie, the hormone smoothie. But yeah, so I don't know what's on this planet other than a city and smoothies. That's the lore we have so far. Lots of way to get hormones. So, where was I? There it is. No, a hologram isn't the same. I don't want to find myself transported to a make believe part. I want the real thing. We are going down a timeline we can't recover from. Oh, yes. But with reality comes other things, like pain. There are no thorns to step upon in the Coalition's safety travels. You can have the pleasure without being hurt. It's perfect. She plopped down on the lounging sofa and drew her knees up. Don't you see? I don't want perfection. I want to experience everything. I see. Now she'd heard his feelings. Barton had been programmed to see to her every need. There were no men left on her planet. He was the perfect male specimen. No dudes. Perfect planet. No, so smoothies. Somebody actually put all these words to a page and said, I'm creating a world. So here's the world we have so far. Smoothies. City. No men. Sex robots. What more could you need? What an incredible world we have created here. Sounds good to me. When can I move? Ugh. Sorry, I promise I'm not like, I don't have like COVID or anything. It's my sinuses are just being stupid. Doomed to die within a generation. Well, no, Kels, they probably have like implants and shit for making children. Or maybe they're sex robots. They're like those lesbian lizards. They reproduce through mitosis. They just like one day Mala will just be standing there and she'll split in two and go about her business. You're my friend, she told him, but I need more. Please try to understand that it's not you. It's me. Ah. He raised his chin. When are we making the journey? She flinched. This was the hard part, but she couldn't risk putting him in danger. Just me. I won't take a chance with you. When he opened his mouth, she hurried on. Besides, the Coalition won't even realize I'm gone if you're here. I just want to see what this planet is like. I'll be gone no longer than a few rotations. He hesitated. You'll swear on the Promise Stones? What the fuck are the Promise Stones? Can we get some lore on those? I'll swear. I still don't like it. They may be closer to us in language and atmosphere, but their culture is so far behind ours. How will you manage? Grandmother's book. She raised the journal. I've studied it carefully. I know their favorite saying is, well, hell, and that it's early summer on the planet. Oh, so Texas. Okay. They like, need a D&D campaign set here. So much lore. What class do you think Mala is? I have a feeling she's a ranger. That's just my opinion. She was about to embark on What she was about to embark on finally sunk into her brain. She was going to Earth. A slow smile curved her lips. Maybe she'd even meet the man in the hologram, the one called Sheriff. Ooh. Earth! It was beautiful. A big, round ball. Much bigger than she'd expected. A lot bigger than Narok. Her planet wasn't much more than a dot in the sky, but Earth sparkled. You mean you don't know the Stone Wars of Cyclone 5 and you read the prequel? Is her planet not round? Yeah, it's. Hmm. Wheel. Major comment. Favorite enemies equals things to fuck. Instead of favored foes, it's favored fuck. Like in the UA Ranger. But yeah, I guess her planet isn't round, is the implication. Or maybe Karen Kelly did not think that line through, which seems to be a common theme. Mala sighed with utter joy and tried to focus, but it wasn't that easy. She was here, at least, almost. Her palms began to sweat. Her heart beat faster. This was it, and the most important part, so she had to stay calm. Oh, okay. The craft began to shake as she entered the atmospheric pool. Her grandmother hadn't mentioned such violent movement, but then the craft hadn't been nearly as old, either. Please don't fall apart, she breathed, grasping the guidance bar and manually steering the craft. She would be fine. She was almost positive. Her coordinates were exactly with her grandmother's, sort of. Also, are we just on Earth now? Not quite. She's in the atmosphere. With drops of Jupiter in her hair. Haha, that was a Train reference. That song is not very good, but I still enjoy it. She pointed the craft towards Earth. It plunged downward. Here I go. The blue sky filled her glass shield. She was moving faster than she could maneuver the small ship. Mountains whizzed past with her barely having time to get out of the way. Tree! She dodged it. Limbs slapped the side of her craft. Bushes! So she's just like yelling these words out loud to herself. Okay. She steered to the right, then left. Oh no, this wasn't good. Things were moving way too fast. Bam! Her head rammed against the craft guidance panel as the craft jerked and bumped to a grinding stop. So this is an incredibly advanced planet, and yet their spaceships fucking suck. I got it. Dry, powdery dust swirled behind Mason McKinley's Jeep like a small tornado in the fading light of day. Oh, this is a white man. If they didn't get some rain soon, his small ranch would dry up and blow away. He glanced upward. Not a dark cloud in the sky. He wished he could say the same about his life. Shouting out what you see is only acceptable if it's a horse or a deer or a cow. Whenever I'm driving, sometimes I'll see cows. I'll be like, cows! And it just makes me happy. It's the little things. But yeah, cows too. Yeah, excellent taste. Too many complications in his life. He stopped in front of his modest log home and killed the engine, slipping the keys into his jeans pocket as he climbed out and started towards the house. Boo, that line is balls. Many of them are. His dog, Blue, jumped out of the open back and took off at a run, chasing an imaginary jackrabbit. Good old Blue. He shook his head. The dog wouldn't know what to do if he ever caught a rabbit. The radio on his hip crackled. He stopped, 1 foot on the bottom step, knowing the dispatcher at the office was about to speak. Oh yeah, the dog is named Blue, I guess. I'm assuming it's like a gray dog. Sheriff, we have a situation. Oh, it's Francine. Sheriff, we have a situation. Francine's new word this week. Everything was a situation. Do they talk to their salt and pepper? He removed his Stetson and ran a weary hand through his hair before taking the radio out of the leather holster and keying the mic. What kind of situation? My sister used to have a favorite cow at this farm we sometimes drove by, and she was devastated after it stopped showing up. It was young, probably got sold. Oh, it's sad. Hope that cow had a good life. What kind of situation? Harlan says he saw a flying saucer. He gritted his teeth and counted to 10. If Harlan didn't stop this nonsense, he was going to lock him up for disturbing the peace, namely his. Mason's gaze shot toward the town he just left. The reporters from the National Gossip were still at the motel. Somehow, Harlan had convinced them Bigfoot roamed the surrounding woods. Bigfoot of all things! How could anyone actually believe that kind of nonsense? Now there were about 3 reporters wandering around their small Texas town in search of anything they could claim was a mythical beast. They weren't even looking at it from a scientific point. They were only in it to make a buck, but all they'd accomplished was pissing off a lot of people who in turn kept the phone lines to his office lit up. I've driven through several small Texas towns, and yeah, I'd say this is actually pretty accurate to them. Huh. Jimmy Wilson said some idiot was snapping pictures of his Braham bull. You mean you bringing your Bahama? They're Bahamas, I'm pretty sure. Mason shook his head. Old Red was the meanest bull in the country. The reporter was lucky to get back across the fence before the angry animal trampled him. Why was he taking pictures of the cow? I just came back and we were talking about Bigfoot in the sci-fi sex realm. Okay, so they're looking. There's reporters looking for Bigfoot in the town. That's a TLDR. But yeah, why was this guy taking pictures of this guy's cow? Why not take pictures of a cow? I mean, that's fair, but it's like the cow is obviously not Bigfoot. His radio crackled again. Sheriff, he said it was on the north side of your property, close to the highway. A fucking course it was. Said there was a bright light, like maybe it crashed. He keyed the radio again. It was probably one of the big rigs going around Devil's Bend. You know about how it gets close to dusk, the lights flicker about. People have been reporting spaceships for years. You want me to tell him that? Harlan wouldn't give him any peace until he checked it out. Damn, how the hell had his life become so problematic? His gaze moved to the barn. He hadn't ridden Dancer in a couple of days. The ride would do them both good, and he still had a couple of hours before it got good and dark. Tell him I'll check it out. So now we are back to Mala's point of view. I was going to kind of skip around because it's just her getting out of the fucking spaceship thing. She gets out. She planted her palms on the ground to push up and realized she was actually touching dirt. Tingles traveled up her. Don't like that. Dirt. Real dirt. She scooped up a handful and rubbed her hands together, laughing when it sifted through her fingers. She smells leaves. Touches a tree. Oh, she sees ants. Real dirt is so much better than the synthetic stuff. Oh, let's check the. Let's see what's going on over there. Ooh, what's going on? She gets bit by ants. A burst of energy bolted through her as she pushed forward, clambering into the clearing, landing on her knees when her legs tangled with the bushes. Exhilaration, and yes, regret swept over her. She'd made it out and was still alive, even though the light around her was fading fast. Ma'am, are you okay? Or, ma'am, you okay? A deep voice spoke from high above her. She jumped, her gaze jerking upward. He sat upon a black, shiny animal that pranced beneath him, the fading light washing over man and beast. His hat was pulled low on his forehead, practically obscuring his rugged features. What little breath she had left, he was stealing away from her as her gaze traveled over the handsome stranger. Her inspection of the human came to an abrupt halt when her gaze landed on the star pinned on his shoulder. Oh no. Sheriff, she whispered. Tears formed in her eyes. How appropriate that she should see the man in the movie. Not that this one looked exactly like the other one, but he was the same breed. Hmm. Ma'am, you okay? He repeated. No. Her voice hitched. She sought words he would understand. Well, hell, I'm dying. All the strength drained from her body, and she collapsed to the ground. Dun dun dun! Chapter 2. We are only 14 pages in, by the way, and all this shit has happened, so. Yeah, pacing. Mason jumped off Dancer and rushed to the girl, questions running around in his head. Had there been a wreck on the highway and she had stumbled through the woods looking for help? Or maybe a snake had bitten her. He did a quick survey of the area. Oh, sorry. I live near the fire station, so if you hear any, like, fire alarm, or not fire alarms, but, like, sirens going off, that's why. Any number of things could have happened. Kneeling beside her, he checked her for a pulse. It was steady and strong. He breathed a sigh of relief, even though he knew CPR. Knowing and doing were two different things. You didn't say that again, King. He didn't rule out internal injuries either. He moved his hand slowly over her shoulders, but didn't feel anything out of place. The thin dress she wore clung to her curves, which would make it easy to detect if something wasn't right. His hesitation was brief before he slid his hands over her ribcage, brushing the contour of her full breast. He swallowed past the lump in his throat. Okay, damn, Mason, chill the fuck out. Damn, he needed to get out more. He needed to get out more often if an unconscious woman turned him on. Taking a deep breath, he continued with his exploration, rocking his palms against her hips before moving his hands lower over her bare thighs and down her ankles. At least she didn't have any exposed bones, but she did have a small gash on her forehead. He brushed her long golden brown hair away from her face. Her skin was pale, delicate features almost like fine porcelain. He drew in a deep breath, reining in his thoughts. He wouldn't know how bad her head injury was until he had the doc check her out. The cut had stopped bleeding. It wasn't so deep it needed stitches, but she did have a knot the size of a bird's egg and it was already turning purple. Alright, so I'm gonna quick detour because that reminded me of a story from my childhood. So it was my little sister's. Oh, does she look human? Yeah, I guess she does look human. But it was my little sister's 4th birthday, and we were playing Ring Around the Rosie. Now, and we shared a room, and we had one dresser. It had like a very sharp corner on it. And as we were playing Ring Around the Rosie, running around, she asked me to like let her go, and I let go, and she flew into the dresser, smashed her head against it, had a giant goose egg like this big on her head. So that was how she spent her 4th birthday. Yeah, bad times. She will not let me live it down. Like, I'll do something, I should be like, well, remember that time that you fucking threw me into the dresser? Oh dear. Yeah. Like, and I'm like, okay, I was 8, so yeah. So he's gonna. Oh, he carries her. He hefted her over his shoulder, soothed Dancer with a few soft words, and managed to climb on without dropping the girl. As soon as she was in the saddle, he eased her across his lap. She moaned, her bottom shifting against him. He sucked in a deep breath. Lady, you'd better quit moving or you'll have us both hurting, he mumbled. Damn, like he wasn't already in pain. The sweet kind, though, the kind right before he had sex. Except he wouldn't be having sex, so maybe it wasn't so sweet after all. Alright, this dude is not having a good time. Maybe he should just concentrate on getting back to the ranch. It would take him a little longer than it had coming out. He didn't want to move too fast and jar something loose inside of her. Besides, it was dark and it would be too easy for Dancer to step in a hole and get them all bungled up. Oh God, fuck this. You don't want to hear about them getting all bungled up, Jacob? Yeah, like Jerry, I was mentioning earlier that it'd be so funny if she like looked like a xenomorph or something, and he was like, "Oh, xenomorph, lady, ooh." Yeah. Karen Kelly is a coward, though, so we can't have nice things. Xenomorph bride. But it damn sure didn't help. Feeling the warmth of her body pressed close to his, he drew in a deep breath and caught an unusual fragrance, probably because she does not bathe. Bewitching. For a moment, he let her scent swirl around him. It defied description, but he liked it. Suddenly, the moon slid from behind the clouds, lighting their way, and he could at least breathe a little easier. It might not take as long to get home as he'd first thought. Tags impregnation in TR? No. No. Oh, no. We're not doing that. No. He glanced down into her face. So, like, he said she was, like, across his lap. So is she, like, just, like, flopped like this? Like, across his lap? Did he actually set her up? So many questions, and none of them answered. Hey, let me lay my eggs in your stomach, yeah? No. My grandmother said that we did it, so it's fine in her book. It's good. It's great. Long dark lashes hid the color of her eyes as they rested on the paleness of her skin. Probably because her eyes are fucking closed, idiot. She hadn't been close enough for him to see what shade they were before she fainted, but it didn't stop him from looking at the rest of her. Her features were delicate, like a perfectly carved statue, except she didn't feel cold and hard. You know what else is cold and hard? His dick, haha. His gaze moved lowered. She wore a gold-colored dress, the material soft to the touch. She couldn't remember his penis. he couldn't remember ever feeling fabric quite like this. She must be from a city. New York, maybe? Fucking, there are cities in Texas. Why wasn't his first thought like a city in Texas? Nope, no, New York. It's fine. He glanced up. The ranch was in sight. He breathed a whole lot easier. Yeah, fucking Mason, keep your eyes on the damn road instead of looking at this girl's tits. When Dancer started for the barn, he nudged the horse toward the front porch and stand. Yeah, clearly she's a city girl. She shifted the woman's weight as gently as he could, but she still moaned when he climbed off the horse. Oh, so she's going to be moaning a lot, is my assumption. Barton, what happened? She opened her eyes. The light from the front porch cast shadows over her face, but he could see the color of her eyes now. They were a clear shade of turquoise that captured his attention and wouldn't let him look away. You're not Barton. Her forehead bunched. Ow! She tenderly touched her head before her eyes widened. Oh, I made it, and there's light once again. You saved my life. He smiled, glad to see she looked a little better than when he'd first seen her. There was even some color in her face. I wouldn't say I saved your life. Do you think you can stand? She nodded, then frowned. Oh yes, the universal language, English. It did mention that their languages were similar, but I don't think that like a planet that is extremely like advanced would like be speaking a language that originated on Earth, unless the implication is that the aliens were the ones who brought English to the world. Ancient aliens hire me. I have knowledge based on the tome in my hand. He set her on her feet, keeping his arm around her shoulders to steady her. Do you have a name? Mala. Last name? She paused. I don't remember. She can't remember your last name. You can't remember your last name? Again, she paused. No, I can't remember. Who's Barton? Barton who? She might have a concussion. That could bring on a case of temporary amnesia. Or she might be a criminal. Great, another complication in his life to add to the growing list. At least this was a sexy one. Now that he could see her in better light. Damn sexy. Wildly different dialects, yeah, but nope, perfect English. Hey, we need a base for the fucking, and I guess that is our base. Is one of my lights out? Sorry, I just noticed that everything looks a little darker, but I think it's just the lighting from my computer being weird. The pale gold dress clung to her up to every soft curve. He'd already discovered just how soft those curves were, too. He cleared his throat. This guy is a creeper. He's this red-blooded American male. Mason, he is a creepy man. Do you think you'll be okay for long enough for me to put my horse in the barn? Horse. Her eyes widened. Oh, I see. See what? Nothing. He felt like he'd been cast in a bad movie and only one of them had a script. Hmm. Maybe he was just more tired than he thought. Or maybe he took off his hat and ran a hand through his hair before readjusting it to a more comfortable position. You can wait in the Jeep. Jeep. Yeah, the Jeep. He pointed to it. She seemed steady enough, just not quite cognizant of her surroundings. He took her hand and led her to his vehicle. When he stood silently beside the passenger's door, he opened it. Well, hell, she slid into the seat. A simple thank you might have been more polite. His vehicle was a little rough around the edges, but it got him where he wanted to go. She was injured, though, so he cut her a little slack. It won't take that long. Just try to relax. So, um, her gaze stayed on Sheriff as he walked away. He had a very nice structure, too. When he'd removed his hat, he'd seen his dark, thick hair. It was the color of night, and his eyes were a deep, mesmerizing shade of green. She couldn't have done better if she'd designed him herself. He was a human, too. She had known it as soon as she'd awakened in his arms. There was something different about him. For one thing, his manhood had risen to very nice proportions when she wiggled against it. Okay, Mala. She hadn't pushed any buttons either. She would enjoy discovering all there was to know about this man. I'm gonna skip a little bit because she's just like, oh, this is a car. And she's like touching all things in the car. Oh, hey, we have a little piece of lore about Narok. Barton would laugh when she told him she'd forgotten this planet experienced darkness. After one rotation, the sun would rise again so the people understood a new day had begun. Her planet had two suns, each rotating opposite the other. One always shone brightly, keeping her planet in the light. How lucky humans were to be covered in a blanket of stars. It seemed rather magical. To be fair, yeah, creeper, but what would you call this bitch that flew across the vastness of space in search of dick and nothing else? An opportunist. That's what I call her. Miss Mala, I admire your tenacity. Good job. Girl knows what she wants. So she's going to the doctor. Skip ahead, because... Yeah, so the doctor tells her, oh, you hit your head. Oh, she walks into a door because she doesn't know. She doesn't know that it doesn't open. And then he like tilts her chin up like this. He's like, things are gonna be okay. Like, I'd be like, dude, don't touch me. New sheriff man. Doo-doo. Um, doo-doo-doo. Okay, so she goes to the doctor, gets back. She screams because he draws some blood from her. Mm-hmm. What's going on? This is boring. I don't want to read doctor shit. He meets her dog. Or she meets his dog. So, uh, Would you like something to eat? Eat? She'd had 2 food capsules prior to leaving her planet, which was enough nutrition for 1 rotation, but she was curious about the food on Earth. Her grandmother had mentioned it that it was almost as good as sex. She just couldn't imagine that. How many pages in? We're on page 30. Out of how many fucking pages? Oh my god. 294. Wow. The only food she wants is the D. Yeah. I waste time, right? Get to it, girl. Oh. She's going to discover the naked channel that we heard about in the summary. This channel is called Sensual Heat, which that doesn't quite seem like a porn channel title, but I will roll with it. A naked man walked across the set, his tanned butt clenching and unclenching with every step he took. When he faced her, the man's erection stood tall, hypnotizing her. It was so large she couldn't take her gaze off of it. Is that hot? Ugh. I would not know if butt clenching is hot. Also, like, acid, I don't know. Butt's just not a word that you use, like, in porn. It's just weird. And, like, I don't know. Everything about this description, it makes me wonder if Karen Kelly has ever watched porn. Or, like, read it, or just, like, encountered another human being. Because from the writing of this book, it does not seem like she has. She's a virgin. A naked woman appeared behind him. She slipped her arms around him, her hands splayed over his chest. Slowly, she began to move her hands over his body, inching them downward, ever closer. Mala held her breath. Oh, okay. I signed up to read this, though. I want you, the woman whispered. I want to take you in my mouth, my tongue swirling around your hard cock. Nobody talks like that. The man groaned. Mala leaned forward, biting her bottom lip as the man's hand snaked behind him and grabbed the woman's butt. In one swift motion, he turned around. Damn, you make me hard with just your words. I think he was already hard. But okay. And I love when you talk dirty to me. So you want me to tell you what I want to do to your body? The woman nodded. Ugh. He grinned, then began talking again. I want to squeeze your breast and rub my thumbs over your hard nipples. Nobody talks like that. Nobody says shit like that. All right. Spicy. But, like, there's not a human being on the planet who says that. Like, that's more like what you'd use as, like, a description, not what the character is saying, because it just sounds robotic and awkward if somebody says it out loud. Okay. His actions followed his words. You like that? Yes! She flung her head back, arching toward the man. Mala leaned forward, her mouth dry, her body tingling with excitement. Yes, she wanted this bad. Porn dialogue in a porn novel. It's 2 layers deep of bad. Do you like French bread or white bread? Mason asked, walking into the room. She dragged her gaze from the television. Breed. That was what humans called copulating. Not all the time. Getting bread. Her nipples ached. Yes, can we breed now? She stood and began slipping her clothes off. Okay, wow. That is extremely bad dialogue. No, that's not what I meant. He hurried forward and grabbed her dress as it slipped off one shoulder, quickly putting it back in place. Can we, breed? She must be a baker. Damn, what did the doc give her? That was one hell of a side effect. Have you seen that meme where it's like the bread holder and it's like, go ahead and get it since your ass wants to be bread so bad? I've seen that so many times. It's just like, wow. You don't want to copulate? Her forehead wrinkled, causing her to wince and raised her hand to the bump on her head. Do you find that I'm not to your liking? Yes, I like you. But you do not wish to. She bit her bottom lip as if searching for the right words. She bites her bottom lip a lot, so. To have sex? His hand rested lightly on her shoulder as he met her gaze. Of course I'd like to, He marveled out half soft the fabric felt. Yes? Hi. I ate them all. You want
Eres
some?
criminal. ¿Por qué?
Do you want some candy corn?
Yo quiero M&M's. Para mi yogurt.
You can take my card and go to DG and get some. Okay. Sorry, my sister wanted M&M's. And I had eaten them also. That's not happening. Okay. Can I have some? Wait, you guys have a BJ's? Oh, I do. I have seen several people here named BJ. And every single time I kind of have to like laugh in my head because sometimes I have the same humor as a 13-year-old boy. I'm like, haha, BJ, and like blowjob, haha. He cleared his throat, his gaze not able to meet those innocent, sensuous turquoise eyes. He felt like such a heel. He'd invited her to his home, and all he could think about was having hot sex. It's BJ from Wolfenstein, you dirty-minded person. Ha! What if his name is Blowjob Wolfenstein? It's official name. He looked anywhere but at her until his gaze slammed to a stop when it landed on the television. A naked couple was going at it on a kitchen table. Concept of a store called BJ's. Oh, yeah. Good times. Damn satellite dish. No wonder she was having sexual thoughts. The porn movie, combined with what the doctor had apparently given her. No wonder her thinking wasn't clear. Oh, he gives her spaghetti. And he's thinking about fucking her. I'm just gonna. Ooh, she's like being like weird sexual as she's eating. She's like moaning and shit. I'm just gonna skip ahead because. Yeah. The way she spoke the words, like they just had sex, made his heart skip a beat. I too give her noodles before giving her the noodle. I too get horny when I see spaghetti. Oh, rigatoni just hits the spot, if you know what I mean. Millie, who are these books for? They were written for me specifically to torture me by making me read them out loud. Also, I think they're like mommy porn. Like a middle-aged white woman would find this good. Like a middle-aged white lady who had abstained from sex until marriage and is now married with 2 kids and lives in a nice house, but is sad because her husband won't fuck her. That's who these books are for. Is my assumption. No, shit, my page. It's fine. Okay, we're back at where we were. It's fine. So he's gonna take her to his bedroom. Or her bedroom, not his. Not yet. She's trying on his clothing and taking a shower with his clothes on. If Millie loses her page before the stream is over. No. And he thinks BDSM ends up books in my home and therefore I regretted it. Yeah. So he's wearing his clothes and taking a shower in his clothes. Like, how rude. And then she's just like flipping the shower on and off. Like, what the fuck, girl? We got bills to pay. Oh, wait. She found the soap, so now she's rubbing it on her nipples through the nightshirt. That's a little weird. She's fucking herself with the brick of soap. Don't like that. It looks like it says like she's like talking. She rubbed harder and faster. If it was that good with the brick, how much better would it be with Sheriff? Table gun, move over. Here comes soap gun. No! I'm just like, girl, that is not good. Stop. Girl, no. Now she's going through. She tries to eat his fucking shaving cream. So that's funny. It's like, haha, it was so quirky. She's eating his shaving cream and fucking herself with soap. What a quirky girl. Mason wondered if Mala was asleep. He hoped that somebody was resting. He damn sure wasn't getting any sleep or sex. Ooh. A beautiful, vibrant, sexy woman had asked him to make love to her, and he'd said no. God, he was losing his freaking mind. So it's time for him to have his own little montage. I wonder if he's gonna fuck himself with some soap. Oh, he walks in and like he discovers that she left a fucking mess and tried to eat his shit. And she's naked in his bed. Which, I mean, whatever, some people sleep nude, but like. And so she's sleeping like this, like with her arm over her thing, so of course her breasts are like flopped out. Her raised arm shielded her face, leaving her perfectly rounded breast bare to his view. At least she's squeaky clean. No! The areolas were a dusky rose. Her nipples puckered. He dragged his gaze downward, skimming over her hips and wishing she'd open herself. Don't like that description. Look away. Damn. She was under the influence of pain medication, and all he could think about was jumping her bones. Instead of carrying through with his fantasies, he walked over and pulled the sheet up to her shoulders and closed the window. Ah, good guy Mason. Respect. So he's so horny and turned on that he goes outside and takes a run. Like, he's just like, oh, God, I'm so horny. He just goes outside and starts running. He goes on a jog. I can respect that. And then he drinks a beer. So that's where we are. And we are only on chapter 5. Jesus Christ. She likes food and... Mala had a feeling he didn't want to look at her. It might be more difficult than she first thought to have sex with a man. She had to be doing something wrong. Oh, girl. So... she's going through his shit now. What a rude little bitch. An ick began to grow inside her. She wanted to copulate with Mason. Can we stop using the word copulate? It's just not. It's not a sexy word. When if I hear copulate, I'm just like, okay, that's like a technical word. What the fuck? She typed copulate into the dictionary search engine, I guess, on the computer. A few seconds passed. All you needed was an account with PayPlan, and it would transfer funds to the store. Okay. No! She's using his credit card to buy sex toys. Like, if he knew, it would be a different story, but he doesn't know he's at work. Okay, if this girl is using my credit card to buy sex, like buy shit, I'd kick her out of my fucking house and we'll call the fucking bank and be like, hey, this bitch used my money. Asshole, what the fuck? This is rude. This girl. So she goes to get some chocolate. You know, but apparently Baker's chocolate is like really bitter. And so um, she jumped from the chair and hurried to the food room and began opening cabinets. Her eyes lit on a black can. Cocoa, chocolate. Ah, yes, tonight would be very good indeed. She pulled off the lid and stuck her tongue inside. Ugh! She blew out a breath and a black powder cloud poofed around her face. She wiped her tongue with her hand as she tried to remove the horrible bitter taste. Girl, just drink water! This girl is... I cannot put into words the way I'm angered. I am angered. She fucking puts her mouth all in his fucking cocoa and orders sex toys with his money that he doesn't know. Then she eats like half his chocolate. Rude. Oh. Oh no. Mason is coming home. I'm starting to think this sex novel is not believable. What keyed you off, Caleb? She didn't meet him at the door, so. But, so in that chapter, she went through his shit, went on his computer, ordered a whole bunch of shit, I'm assuming. Kid hides aliens or alien. Except this is a grown woman. She, goes for his shit. She eats his chocolate. She fucking gets a mess all over the place. I would kick this lady out of my house. I'd be like, get out. I've got a 70s porn music playlist ready to sync up. Well, what songs do you have on the playlist, first of all? I gotta know. That way we can get in the right sexy mood for the sexy book. Oh, motherfucker. So, and she's wearing his clothes again. So she's trying to be rude and sexy and seduce him. She didn't know who she was. She could be married. He glanced at her hand. She wasn't wearing a ring. That didn't mean she wasn't married, but it was a good sign. He still couldn't have sex with her, though. He was the sheriff, sworn to protect, not sworn to go to bed with. So I guess he's a celibate. Bro, that's your fault. She sat down, her eyes immediately rounding. What is up with these eyes rounding? Why? I guess she has... That's weird. Why does this lady's obsessed with describing shit like that? Oh, she smiled. The chair is cold on my bare bottom. He'd never make it through the meal. Oh God, she was killing him. Would he be legally bound if he took his badge off? Legally bound to what? Is he is it if you wear the fucking badge of the sheriff, then you can't have sex anymore? Is that what he's going for here? Cold chairs are not sexy. Ah. She unwrapped her chocolate and laid the paper to the side of her plate. I love chocolate. She licked the bar, slowly running her tongue over it. I've never tasted anything like it. He drew in a deep breath. He had to remember to breathe. It could be detrimental to his health if he forgot, but right now it felt as if he were dying tiny little deaths. But damned if it wasn't the sweetest death he'd ever experienced. Badge of small your dick. Oh, it's really good. She closed her eyes, swirling her tongue over and around the chocolate. It smeared across her lips. She didn't get in any hurry as she licked them clean. I don't know. I'm only human, Mala. His words were raspy as his throat constricted. And I want you, she told him. Don't you want me? good stuff. Wait, got it. Where's my fucking soda? Did I drink it all? Oh, no, here it is. I'm an idiot and I forgot I took my soda back, so. All right. Are we prepared for some red hot sexiness? Damn, she was so hot. Her tongue met his thrust. Is he? They're kissing. That's kind of her tongue met his thrust, like his mouth thrust. That's a little weird. He stroked her velvety softness, keeping a tight control on the situation. Could she feel how much he wanted her? Her sudden gasp of pleasure told him, yes, he did, she did. Tongue thrusting. At least it's not like their lips crashed or whatever, like you see in fanfics that are like, their lips crashed together so passionately. It's like that same line delivery like every single time. At least it's not that, but I don't know if tongue thrusting is that much better. His mouth moved to her neck, lightly kissing the tender skin. I've never met a more sensual, sexy creature. Could you have said woman there, please, or person? Like two snails dancing in her mouth. Oh god. It barely registered that the lights had begun to flicker. Squirrels in a transformer? They were bad this year. He didn't really care. Not right now. Not at this moment. He tugged her shirt higher. She pulled it over her head and tossed it to the floor. His mouth closed over one sweet nipple. And he's just messing with her tits. I want to see all of you. She scooted off his lap and tugged on his shirt. Take off your clothes. Her words were husky, sensuously cascading over him. He stood and quickly unbuttoned his shirt. She danced behind him, a naked nymph. Why'd she go behind him? Oh, she's helping him take his clothes off. I was like, what the fuck? Did she just like walk behind him because he didn't want to see him? She scraped her fingernails lightly down his bare back, sending tremors over him. Do you like that? She asked. You know I do. You're right. I do. She moved to stand in front of him, tugging at his belt. It's easy to see I pleasure you. I don't like that. His belt dropped to the floor. She hooked her fingers into his waistband and unbuttoned his pants. He watched her face as she undressed him, saw the excitement, and let her have her way. Hell, just watching her gave him pleasure. Oh, nice, she said, encircling his penis with her hand and sliding the foreskin down, then slowly back up. Her forehead wrinkled. I think we got this part slightly wrong. Do you vibrate? What do you think, Mala? Huh? Did she want to use a vibrator? I don't have a vibrator. He never really tested the boundaries with toys when making love, but he didn't mind trying something new. It doesn't, skipped ahead. If his partner was willing, that is. It doesn't matter, she said. We'll make do with what we have this time. That's a little insulting. Like, oh, I guess we'll just have to deal with your penis. Like, I guess. Well. Before he could kick the rest of the way out of his pants, she grabbed the chocolate syrup out of the refrigerator and uncapped it, then dumped it over him, starting at his chest. Son of a bitch, that's cold. I would have been like, girl, put that shit away. Don't. Unless she was like lightning fast to put it on him, but c'est la vie, I suppose. Well, hell, Mason, don't you know I'll make you warm again? She plastered her body against his, smearing the chocolate between him. Ugh, I don't like that. Isn't this fun, Mason? Can y'all people just fuck already? It was kinky and sexy the way her slick skin felt beneath his calloused hands. Give me the chocolate, Mason. Apparently, just touching him is kinky and sexy. Like, okay. Who are you? Where are you from? How did I get this lucky? He didn't even realize he'd spoken the words aloud until she answered. I'm Mala from the planet Narok, and I'm the lucky one. There, now he knew the truth. And you have a great sense of humor, he chuckled. Okay, my little alien, do your worst or best. I already feel as if I might disintegrate from the heat building inside of me. Nobody talks like that again. She shook her head. I promise not to turn you into a pile of ashes, but I too promise we'll have many orgasms. This is what making love should be, exploring and testing what each one likes or dislikes. Are you ready to walk on the path of discovery? Oh yeah, I'm more than ready. Lies. I've heard that one before, lady. Oh, wow. Are you ready to walk the path of discovery, Jacob? Interesting. I don't know if somebody was talking like this to me, I might just put all my clothes on and leave. We're not stopping, are we? Surely humans finished the act and didn't change their minds in the middle. Oh no, my little alien. I'm just getting started. He scooped her up and carried her to his room, jerking the covers back with one hand before laying her gently on the sheets. They're still covered in chocolate! They're gonna get chocolate all over his fucking bed. Mm. So he goes down on her. From a distance, she heard noises from the kitchen. It sounded as if all the little appliances she'd played with this afternoon were going off at once, and there were popping and hissing noises. Oh no. Fucking idiot, she left everything on. That's not good. Had she left the television on? Who cared? As she lost herself in the sensations Mason created, his tongue scraping over her sex, delving inside the very heart of her being. I don't like that phrasing at one bit. Before she had a chance to take a breath, he slipped something on and entered her. He filled her, but for a moment he did nothing except stare into her eyes. He began to move, slowly at first, and then her body heat began once again as the friction from their movements stirred the embers inside her. Do you feel it? His words were raspy, electrically charged impulses of pleasure. Who says that? Oh my god! His words didn't register as another orgasm washed over her. She grabbed his buttocks and pulled him closer, her legs wrapping around his waist, her inner muscles clenching around him. Yes, this was what she'd been searching for. Her body trembled as the ache inside her eased and a feeling of languidness washed over her. As she floated back to earth, his words sank into her muddled brain. Electrical charges? The noises from the other room she'd heard? Oops. Time to murder some metaphors and adjectives. Damn, now that was some mind-blowing, body-jarring, down-and-dirty, explosive sex, he says. So, Mala's in the kitchen, and he's gonna take a shower. Hopefully he doesn't make a mess like she did. Hey, she says the word ass. Congrats. She can say a bad word now. And there's chocolate all over the fucking floor! I hate this. I'm just gonna skip ahead because they're basically like, she's like, I'm so sad if I have to leave you because we have such good sex. They just met, and he's like, you never have to leave me, baby. Like, I guess that's the power of pussy. But yes. Mason had made sweet love to her early this morning, and she felt quite satisfied when they'd had more food. Earth was a nice place to be. So I guess on her planet they don't have, well, they have like food capsules and they have the sex robots, but it's not like Earth. So I guess she's enjoying it here. Good for her. I guess the title of the sequel is True Earth, guys. Are easy. So I guess he just doesn't really care that she's like an alien, or like I can't tell if he either didn't believe her or if he does believe her and does not fucking care. But I guess that's what we're doing. He takes her shopping. She fucking tries to eat a candle. I hate this. Why is she so stupid? Why is she like a little toddler who just puts everything that she sees in her mouth? It's like when I was little, I would just eat rocks, like randomly. So I didn't know any better, but I was like 4. This is a grown-ass woman. I ate candles. My funniest story, just kind of to derail for a second. I ate the paint chipping off the wall. She really would eat the deodorant, yeah. I used to, when I was like 3, I would eat like the paint chips off the wall. So my parents had to take me to go get lead poisoning tested. And they have like big fucking needles for that, like that big. And so my dad takes me to the doctor and he doesn't know about the needle being that huge. And again, I'm a 3-year-old child. So he sets me down and the nurse walks in and she's like, okay, well, bring the other nurses. And my dad's like, okay. 4 other nurses walk in to hold down my arms and legs. I'm just recounting what my dad told me. This is what he said. I am being held down by nurses and screaming and crying as they draw blood from me with this needle. And I did not talk to my dad for like a week after that. I was one pissed 3-year-old. I didn't have lead poisoning, by the way. I'm fine. But yeah. That was my life. My sister would just pick leaves up off the ground and eat them too, so I guess it's like a child thing. For that traumatic. See, and like now I'm fine with needles. Like if like I go get a shot, then I'm just like, whatever. But for a long time, I was so scared of needles. Yeah. So she goes to the boutique. Mala tells him she's from Sweden. I guess she knows what Sweden is. I'm Mala from Sweden. Yep, I guess Mala knows what Sweden is. She tells this lady that she used chocolate on Mason when they had sex, and then the lady's like, okay, you must not be from around here. Yes, Sweden, but not candles. Sweden, common knowledge in Mala, apparently. Then I wonder if her grandmother went there. Oh, and then she goes into Harlan's shop. So, you aren't from around here, are you? She looked at Harlan through the glass. His face was odd-looking. His forehead puckered. I don't like that description. I didn't know anyone had kin from across the water. Mason, I was in an accident, and he's letting me stay with him. His hands shook when he placed the jar back on the counter. Accident? Yes. Wasn't out by Devil's Bend, was it? I don't know this place. Mason found me. How odd that his face could turn a rosy hue, then drain of all color. Very odd. Talarni. Swedish? She understood the English language because it was so similar to what was spoken on her planet. Okay. But she had no idea what Harlan had just said. She also had a feeling she might be in trouble. Please don't let them lock me away, she silently begged. Ooh, so we've got some Some tension. Harlan might snatch up Mala. He goes looking for her. And then Harlan is like, Mason, I see you got a girl named Mala. Sorry, I'm just skipping ahead because that was like a very boring conversation that they were having. Oh, Mason comes to save her from Harlan, I guess. Wait, who was he talking to before? Sam, okay. Before Mala had a chance to answer Harlan, the bell over the door jangled. She turned. Mason. Relief washed over her. She wouldn't have to answer Harlan after all. And then... Me and your new friend have been talking, Harlan said before they could get out the door. Said she's from Sweden, but she doesn't speak the language. I find that a little odd, don't you? He scratched his whiskered chin, his eyes narrowing on the two of them. Oops. Actually, for she's from the northern part of Sweden and speaks Finnish rather than Swedish. All right. Harlan was right on their heels as he followed them toward the door. Awful strange that I saw that UFO crash and then this girl shows up. Mason abruptly turned. No, I don't find it strange, Harlan. What I find strange is a two-headed snake, rag publications that report Elvis is alive, and a store owner that is old enough to know better than to believe in things that go bump in the night. She's an alien, isn't she? He spoke with awe. Wow, he hit the nail on the fucking head. He's mad. But I guess he doesn't know that she's from Narok. I guess he didn't believe her after all. She's, of course, he's trying to ask her questions, and she's like, fuck me, and I'll tell you everything you need to know. She says, make love to me, and I'll explain everything. She rubbed her body against his, felt his erection. No. He cleared his throat and stepped away from her. First, tell me about Narok. Narok is Narok. There are no other countries where I live. It's not even close to Sweden? She shook her head. His face turned a little gray. You're defecting, aren't you? What the fuck? No, she straightened. You think I'm defective? He gathered her in his arms. No, sweetheart, I don't think there's a thing wrong with you. I meant defecting, as in running away from your country. Communism, is that it? He assumes she's a communist? Or from a communist nation? What the fuck? Okay. Do you have leaders that tell you what to do rather than a president who was elected? Yes, she nodded her head. The elders took care of them. They wanted for nothing. He expelled a breath. I'm so sorry, but don't worry. I'll see what I can do so you won't be deported. But you have to promise me one thing. You can't talk to strangers about what we do in the bedroom. Holy shit! What fucking, yeah. It's like they have like cell phones and shit, so I'm assuming this is modern day. This isn't like the Red Scare. This isn't fucking 1950. Also, their town is called Washboard, Texas. She spent $3,000 on sex toys. From Raunchy Romps for Adults. That's the store. And he's not even mad. I would be so fucking pissed. I can't even. I would. Oh, no. Bad dragons for the whole audience. You get a bad dragon. You get a bad dragon. Everybody gets a bad dragon. And he signs for the boxes. I cannot even. I see for like you said, Jerry. Like I cannot even think about like just blowing $3,000 and being fine with it like that, or like somebody spending that money from my account and being like, whatever. I guess it's just because she fucks good, but still, I'm just like, that's absurd. Karen Kelly, what kind of men are you interacting with? I'm curious. Maybe I ain't saying she's a gold digger, but she kind of is. An alien? Does she know what that is? I wonder. She know what candles are. Oh, so she also ordered a candle from Raunchy Romps for adults. What does it smell like? Like that one Gwyneth Paltrow? Yeah, the $3,000 thing is just that's I can't even imagine that. Oh, so it's a sexy candle. Why did she order a candle when she didn't know what candles were? Yeah, because she ordered this before she knew what a candle was. Because the candle scene was today in the book's time. It's been 2 days, by the way. Book time. She ordered a love swing, which is that's a little yeah. The plot holes. My immersion is broken. Yeah, I am the immersion of this novel. Strange that a woman that he just met would capture his attention, his senses, so quickly. Oh, wait, so I guess. Oh, no. So, okay, so he called. So one of the fucking. You know those reporters that they mentioned earlier? Is locked in somebody's storm cellar because apparently he was snooping around and the guy locked him in the storm cellar. So Mason has to go check it out. And he's like, "Don't worry, I'll be back to fuck soon, babe." And she's like, "Okay." And he goes and yells at the fucking that he yells at the trespassing guy and then goes back and is like, "All right, time to fuck." And she tried to make cookies and they just sucked. Why does he keep saying that his tongue scrapes over things? That is not a sexy word. I hear scraping, word scraping. I think of like nails on a chalkboard sound. Arrgh. I'm sorry, that just bothers me. I mean, it probably bothers y'all too, but scraping is not a sexy word. Tongues don't scrape. They don't. He has a cat tongue. But sorry, this big book is making me unreasonably angry now. And we're only like halfway through, which I'm probably just gonna start skipping around because I cannot handle this, I don't think. You have the sexiest little ears I've ever seen on a woman, he says to her. Wow. I like you naked, she said in a husky whisper, tossing his shirt on the back of the sofa. Like a sexy black cat, she stepped toward him again, flicking her tongue over his nipples. I'm not even. Nah. She got nipple clamps for him. Ah, so he's a bottom. Okay. Damn, she might have come from a communist country, but she didn't have any fears when it came to sex. She's a fucking alien! She told you that! These fucking nipple clamping communists. Do communists hate sex? I guess so. Either that or they're extremely kinky. You're lifestyle. I'm guessing soon. But yeah, so I guess Mason McNeil is a submissive bottom, is what we are getting from this scene. And then he puts the nipple clamps on her vagina. That, That's not where those go. Yeah, they're called nipple clamps for a reason. It felt so fucking fantastic as hot, tight, wet heat closed in around his dick. Wow. And now she's back to being like, I'm so sad. Oh my god. Girl, you don't have to leave him. You can keep fucking if you want. Yeah, well. So it's been like 2 nights in the book's time. We're on chapter 10. I'm gonna just start skipping because I don't know how much I can handle. I do have work in the morning, so I'll have to hop off the stream and to get ready for bed and stuff. And there's cats under the barn or in his barn. Haha, I'm going to Mount Dancer. That's a sex joke, but not with the sex. What would it be like to live on Earth where you could have animals in space, where you could eat chocolate and have sex wherever you liked? It was paradise. Girl, you had a sex robot. You could have sex whenever you wanted then too. I don't know what her problem is. Or at his house, not hers. The sex robot is a side thing. And they're like, "Oh, is she an alien?" And Mason's like, "Get off my property. Don't harass my girlfriend." And then this lady like threatens to like wiretap Mala. She's like, Alice, we're leaving. She stood her ground. There's something strange going on here. I feel it in my bones. Call it gut instinct, but you're not from Earth. Mason tucked Mala behind him. Call it whatever the hell you want, lady, but my gut is never wrong, either. And it tells me to fool the men, she directed her sneer at Mala. But not me. I don't work on testosterone, and I'll be watching and listening. And then they speed away. And they'll be back, apparently. Creepy. Then he's like, I'll leave. And then she's like thinking that she's gonna go. So she goes back to. Is she going back to Narok? Oh no, her control panel, and I wonder if Moomin is enjoying this. Oh yeah, my fuck fascist Moomin. This was actually I saw this shirt first on Tom Morello, the fucking lead singer for Rage Against the Machine, was wearing it, and I was like, I have to have that shirt. So I found it. I think I just googled like anti-fascist Moomin shirt. So her tools are bad. It wasn't work. And then Mason comes back and is like, what the fuck are you doing? She's watching it. Damn, Tom has taste. Yeah, I like it. This shirt is. I usually just use it for sleeping because, like, I live in Nebraska, and if I wore this outside, I'd be like murdered. I don't want that to happen. I quite like living, so I just use it as like a sleep shirt. But yeah, she's like, oh, they're gonna fuck again. That was a short chapter. They're gonna go see The Lion King. Oh, that's wait. Oh, it's a musical, so graphics are good and the story sucks. Oh. But yeah, so I guess they're gonna go see the Lion King musical in Washboard, Texas. It's got to be seen in them. Yeah, I have pride pins on like my bag and stuff, and like I have my flag here, which, ta-da. But yeah, I feel you, Jerry. It's difficult. Oh, sorry, let me move this back. So, they go to see a movie. They hold hands. How romantic. She drinks tequila. She looked at Mason as he hurried her along. He could feel the blood pulsing through his body. His engorged pain to plunge inside her. Ooh, I don't like that. So I'm just gonna skip. They rent a hotel. I guess they went to the city. I thought they were like still in Washboard or whatever their small town is, because there was no implication that they had left. I was like, oh, okay. I was just ready to accept it. I was like, whatever. More fucking in the elevator. Rude. What was wrong with the elevator? They could have had sex there. Hard thrusting, bone jarring sex. I don't like that phrasing. They're not. Oh, they didn't fuck in the elevator. She was just thinking about fucking in the elevator. Okay. So they go to the room, and I hate how he says things. I hate how she writes this man's dialogue, because he's like, I love it when you tighten up on the inside. It feels so good when your heat contracts around me. I'm like, nobody talks like that. Ugh, makes me mad. But anyways, they fuck. Ugh. They go to more stores. Yay. And then Mala's like reading his mind, I guess, or sending him messages. Okay, we'll roll with it. If your bones jar during sex, you can. Yeah, no fucking kidding. So I guess she's setting Barton up with that lady who was divorced, the Carol lady. He just does not believe her. Like, okay. Do. Oh, hey, we're getting some more Narak lore. Okay. Oh no. So she goes to the doctor, or whatever, and she's pregnant. Stumbled and rolled. I guess she's having morning sickness. Um. Um. Mason, how is that possible? Mason impregnated you. What to do? Oh, it's Barton. Okay, I was confused. So Barton came to Earth, I guess, to seek out Mala and make sure she was okay. And she's like, she's like, Mason, I'm pregnant. Oh no. And oh, but you see, it is quite possible. Barton explained. On Narek, the planet we come from, females are chosen to have children. The way the population is controlled. The eggs of the female are taken and joined with that of artificial male sperm, where the DNA has been manipulated so that only girl children will be produced. When Mala came to Earth and copulated with a male specimen, you, she was outside of her controlled environment and became impregnated. So they didn't use any condoms. Cool. And then he finally believes she's an alien. The woman he loved was an alien. he says. It's been like what, 3 or 4 days. Wait, what? Yeah, okay, so apparently so the lore we got, so it's like artificial insemination, I guess. And I guess with the implication that Mullen not knowing what pregnancy was that they like grow like test tube babies. I guess. So that's interesting. And then okay. But they took her reproductive cells. Yeah, eggs, like, I don't know. It's weird. I don't even know what the lore of this story is. This is incredibly vague world building, if you can call it that. Holy shit, okay, so here's some more Narok lore. It's not bigger than San Antonio. Narok is the planet of light. That's what the name means. We have two bright suns that rotate opposite each other, so there is never any darkness. They totally didn't think it out, yeah. Um, there are no men, none whatsoever. We killed all of them. He visibly swallowed. Yes, we found that they asked too many questions. The thinking blood was supposed to go elsewhere. So they killed all the men because they asked too many questions on Narok. He just does not care. Do. I guess the divorce lady and Barton are gonna be married now. Well, that's good for them. But it's just weird because like we had like a random side plot with them. Oh no, is her spaceship gone? And they're trying to kidnap her. Oh no, so they're being kidnapped. Mala is. So Mason shows up to save her. Uh, don't try it. Where is it? Um, touch one hair on her head, and I might not turn you into a pile of ashes, but I'll see you spend the next 20 years in prison, is what Mason says. So that's funny. Not to mention the money you plan to make when you spew your lies. Mason glared at the woman until she took a step closer to the door. What you'll get is jail time. Try these charges for size: assault, kidnapping a sheriff and an innocent young woman and holding them against their will. I think those would get you at least 20 years in these parts. And I guess the what the fuck was these like bad guys' plan? They kidnapped Molly and took her spaceship, and then they're like, we're gonna sell the story to our own newspaper, and we'll be heroes. What? They won't believe you. She looks like a human. Besides, who would believe the national gossip anyway? That's like taking the fucking globe as the gospel truth. Don't worry, he's gonna save her. We're good. Oh gosh, no more of this fucking Carol and Barton bullshit. So they run away and they get out. And do. They talk about she asked what a strip club is. And there's a bear. Okay. That lasted like 2 pages. Oh my god, there's so much fucking boring bullshit. And they're walking through the woods. And then Then they tell them that the reporters are bad and they kidnapped Mala and they're gonna go to jail. And then the elders come down and are like, "Hello, Mala. Where are you leaving?" Mala turned, tears sliding silently down her face. "I'm so sorry, Mason. I have no choice. The elders are all powerful, and I must respect their decisions." "No, you can't go." "It is time." "She's going to have my baby," Mason blurted out. The elder stilled. "No, she can't. It is forbidden." "How could you let this happen?" She looked at Mala. Mala shook her head. "I didn't know. I didn't think. The elders choose who will have a child, but the baby has always been delivered to one of the homes. It's so women don't have to suffer the pain of childbirth. Do you not realize what having a baby entails? I understand some." And then talks about it. So then they killed all the men because men cause wars, I guess. Okay. Going to die. All right, so there's that plotline wrapped up. It's winter, and she's going to have his baby. And she gives birth. And she has twins? He didn't know she was having twins. So did she not like did she not get ultrasounds throughout the pregnancy? Okay. Here's the second one. Emma, the nurse, said as she placed him on Mala's other side, "I must say, these are the most beautiful boys that we've ever had born in this hospital. Funniest thing, though, I could have sworn I didn't give either one the pacifier, but when I turned around, each boy had one in his mouth. Why'd you give a pacifier to, like, a newborn baby? They need to eat." Mala looked at Mason and shrugged. He looked nervously from one boy to the other. Telekinetic? She had a cousin who could move objects with her mind. How sweet. Okay. Life might prove interesting over the next 20 or so years. She glanced at Mason. Should she tell him? No, there would be plenty of time. Yes, life was good. Yes, they have the Force, apparently. Well, hell, it says. And that is the end of the book. Wow, I don't really have any words for that. So, that was Close Encounters of the Sexy Kind. None of those encounters were sexy. No, Ooh, that was not good. It was very funny though. I enjoyed reading it for y'all and in reading how bad it was. So I'm fairly positive an alien wrote that. Yeah, I don't think Karen Kelly has ever touched on like anybody else in her life. But yes, so that was Close Encounters of the Sexy Kind. We have raised 95 for Color of Change. That's awesome. I'm awesome. I'm like amazed. That's awesome. Glad that we could, all come out, and I'm glad that you enjoyed me reading these awful books. I'll probably be doing another one fairly soon, which means we get to explore the other books that I have here. Yes, it was awful, Kels. That was real bad. But the best part is sharing that awfulness with you all. I am nothing but a prophet speaking awful words, yelling at the peasantry from my tower when it comes to reading these books and saying awful things. But yes, so thank you all for coming out to the live stream. I'm really glad that y'all enjoyed it, and next one comes out, or next stream that I'll do, I'll be sure to like post a little bit more often. This was kind of a spur of the moment thing that I thought of on like Wednesday. I I had fun and you did great. Thank you, Jerry. Had fun. Thank you, Caleb. I'm really glad that y'all had fun because I had fun, even though the secondhand embarrassment was just so strong sometimes. But yeah, again, thank you all for coming out. Thank you for the donations we received. Yeah, I hope you all have a great night. Gonna end the stream now. Bye. Oh, is it ending? There we go.